You know what's really funny about that intro clip?
Yeah,
I just noticed
yeah,
that they were snatching people's money like out of their hands and
yeah,
then running out. I
yeah,
just noticed
yeah. And I
that.
also noticed that the guy who walks up to the counter, he's supposed to look like a bank robber. He's supposed to look like really down and fucked up, but then he gets
Yeah.
robbed. So it's like
Yeah.
it's,
I think it's important. I think
there's
it
some
is
something
important.
experience was happening right now. So
Yeah, it's important because the rank and file American, if they get any bit of money that people think they're not entitled to, they're automatically labeled a thief and they're harshly judged in society. But when a corporation is stealing money from us, we celebrate them as mavens, titans of industry. So,
Titans, man that mowed the land to their own calling, like that bullshit. So we want to. Speaking of men molding the land to their own calling, this is kind of a story that kind of goes under the radar because I feel like we kind of been compartmentalizing all the different like careers, like Uber drivers, like Facebook moderators. We kind of see them as separate industries, but actually they're all in the same kind of crazy dystopic industry. And so I think the term now is called click workers in a way. And so I want people to get on this new term. We're going to start hearing this term a lot in the coming days in the future called click workers, which is like is even less than micro jobs or gig economy. It's going to be one of those new words. So this article pretty much talks about example of one of a company that pretty much oh, you think that Facebook, everyone talks about Facebook algorithms and Twitter algorithms, and actually those are fucking poor people in third world countries with laptops making those decisions. So getting paid like no money an hour. And we're going to show like a new documentary from Germany that's pretty crazy. It really breaks down about the click worker. It shows how global it is. So this story pretty much tells about all those times that you got banned or got fucked on Facebook or whatnot. There's probably like a poor person far, far away that's been traumatized by all the crazy shit they see on the internet. That's wrecking havoc to get a dollar, pretty much. So,
I've heard stories of people like having full on nervous breakdowns because of some of the things that they have to moderate. Somebody might intentionally or unintentionally upload something to a social media profile like Facebook, and then like they have to like quickly like sweep it off of Facebook. Some of the times, I think one of the worst examples is when like somebody live streams their own suicide,
yeah,
and then they have to like hurry up and try to scrub it and stuff
yeah,
like that. It does a lot of psychological damage to those people. Very much like the people that do like the drone strikes.
yeah,
They have to cycle
yeah.
those people out because of
I mean, they're
how it
seeing.
fucks with their head.
I mean, you should see this new. We're gonna share clips from Clickworker, but like these people have to see like real images of babies being murdered, babies, traumatizing footage, and then they have to go across and see some guy like with like 50 followers say that I hate women or like I hate myself. I'm gonna kill myself, and I have to see if that's gonna be if that's a real thing or not. A lot of times they just do the hammer for everything nowadays because they're fucking.
Right.
But like I want to show just like a example of like this
I don't
this
like that typo. I'm banning them.
yeah, exactly. This company right here, they this is a little example because Facebook and all these IBM. So this company was using people, the micro workers, to pretty much label all this artwork from the 15th century to present. So they pretty much use micro workers to like put labels and all kinds of things. So millionaires can buy these art, and they pay these people no money. So So this is like, and this is a growing thing. Like, I want to show you IBM, Google, a
By
lot
the way, I
of.
see your advertisements, man. You looking at them? You looking at them Travis Scott sixes with some hornitos? What's going on? Is that you
That's the
want to talk about
algorithm.
some dash and bash? Messiah's doing some shit to be able to afford those those Air Jordan sixes. Know what I mean?
So I want to pull up this clip right here. It pretty much breaks down the
Oh,
click
he's about to
worker.
propose to somebody. Hellsberg Diamonds.
Oh, a click worker. So this is a French professor who talks about joining up, not like the delivery drivers, the moderators, the people who tag photos. All these people are part of the same economy, tech economy, and he really breaks it down. I want to click this real quick.
Mm. I feel your pain. All your hair grew on the wrong end of your face.
I think these platforms' biggest trick is to make consumers, or users in general, believe that there are automatic processes and algorithms at work everywhere, when very often these tasks are done by hand.
A lot of movie villains are made to look just like this guy.
And to make workers believe that what they are doing is not real work. They call it a job, a gig. So it's transitory, ephemeral, and will eventually disappear. Thanks to this approach, they avoid paying for work at its true value, and they avoid providing any kind of social security.
That would be like benefits, healthcare, 401k, retirement, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Vacation time.
If we look
Those kind of
only at
things.
the workers, we overlook the fact that these workers also produce data. This data is used to produce automation. For example, workers are geolocated. All this geolocation data is collected by the Uber platform. The Uber platform uses this data, on the one hand, to make its service work, but also, and this is the most worrying thing, in the long run, Uber is using the data to create automatic processes.
Yep. These people are working for
drivers,
Uber
it's a question
for
of
their
using this
end
data
to get
train
rid of them.
autonomous vehicles.
Yeah, so I find it like really rich that this click economy or gig economy, it's nefarious in a way because you're hiring people for the explicit purpose of the people that you hire. You're hiring them so that they'll find a way to help you be able to fire them. So they're like throwaway. It's almost like using people as batteries and just throwing them out.
Yeah.
It's a really ugly thing. And, we think about automation. We've talked in the past on Black Power Magic Hour about automation and how the economy is not going to be this wonderful utopia because we've got all of these wonderfully efficient processes. We're just eliminating the usefulness, so to speak, the commercial usefulness of the human being. And what it allows us to do is treat these human beings less like humans.
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. And I really want to it also shows the illusion that of technology. You think it's like glamorous servers doing all the decisions, but actually it's not. It's actually it's really people pressing buttons all day, being paid no money an hour. And I want to share.
You know what it reminds me of?
Yeah.
It reminds me of how scientists study the flight patterns of insects like bees.
Yeah.
They get the data from the bees, and then that's how they are able to find out all this information about how to save the bees or how to get, more honey production from the bees. This is even worse than that when you apply it to human beings because you're looking at the patterns of human beings and then using it to eliminate human beings.
Yeah, and I want to share this clip because this is a great documentary. Hopefully people check it out. It's called Clickworkers, and it came out a couple of days ago. So this is a clip about Siri. So it talks about the same kind of clickworker economy. The clickworker economy is actually some sinister shit because remember we talked about it. It's not algorithms that's making those decisions on Facebook. It's people. So who's making those decisions with Siri? This is a really spooky story. And this guy is really brave for speaking out. So I really want to share this clip just because how brave this is.
Siri is not artificial intelligence. All the so-called machine learning is done by humans. All this so-called
It reminds me of that
artificial
vast
intelligence
field in the
is just
Matrix.
feeding the machine continuously. That was
With them
my
using
problem.
human beings as batteries, the
Yeah.
machines.
Machine.
Using us to sell
first
more
day
stuff
in
to
Cork,
us. I don't know.
What they
I
call
guess.
induction day. We were told we were going to work to improve Siri's precision. So they explained we'd wear headphones and listen to recordings all day. I'd suspected for some time there was some kind of espionage element embedded in this type of device. When you accept the terms and conditions of use, you don't know what data is being collected or why.
Qui sont collectés ni à quel usage. Après, je ne me doutais pas qu'on en arrivait.
But I had no idea that we'd listen to people all the time.
Les micros des appareils.
The microphones on Apple devices are always on, and recordings are triggered randomly.
Et donc, on écoutait à longueur de journée.
So, all day long, we listened to people talking about their private lives, discussing very intimate things.
Donc, le principe était que
the idea was to listen to people dictating a message or talking to Siri.
Ça, c'était le principe.
That was the principle.
Il y avait,
but in fact, there were lots and lots of recordings when the voice assistant triggered itself.
Le vocal se déclenchait tout seul. Ça donnait donc des
recordings were stored either on the iPhone or on some server.
Sur un serveur ailleurs, je ne sais pas. Et j'ai décidé d'en parler parce que
I decided to talk about it because it makes me so mad to see that we are completely unaware of the degree to which these companies interfere in our lives. Even people who want nothing to do with them.
Rien à voir avec eux. Enfin, je me disais qu'il fallait garder une trace de tout ça.
So not only Siri is listening, they have other people listen to it. So
when I decided to leave, I risked everything and started taking screenshots of whatever I could. Then I plugged a memory stick into the computer. And every day, I got new screenshots. And frankly, I was scared. One of the strictest instructions was not telling anyone. Even among ourselves, in our open plan office, we weren't supposed to discuss what we heard. And we were really not supposed to talk to journalists or people outside Apple.
Prenant ces captures d'écran, j'ai la preuve.
By taking these screenshots, I had proof that there were millions and millions of recordings out there.
Millions.
For example, for the iPads, when I took the screenshots, there were 14 different countries involved. Each of these work projects contains 600,000 to 1.2 million recordings for a total of 1,000 hours per country. On average, there are 8 to 12 million recordings for each of these projects, which make up one tab on a very long scrolling menu.
Sur un menu défilant qui est très 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 long. Je me sens dépassé par l'ampleur de la chose, je me sens dépassé par...
I feel overwhelmed by the magnitude of it.
Par la taille
by the size of these companies,
de ces entreprises-là,
and also by the economic and political stakes behind them.
Les enjeux économiques et politiques qui viennent derrière.
But it's not that complicated to refuse to take part in it.
En fait. Et moi, j'aimerais témoigner à visage
I'd like to show my face as I hope others will follow suit.
Yo.
Et que c'est déjà une première étape.
It's already a first step to defend oneself.
Pour se défendre. Et puis,
and then to counterattack.
Parce que
despite what we're led to believe, it's not normal. It's not normal, and it's not a given. It shouldn't be.
Well, they went through all of that to protect his identity, and then ends up showing his face.
Yeah. So pretty much, you watch the context of the documentary. Like that was like the first interview. Everyone else was mad scared and anonymous. He was like the first person. You know what? I'm gonna show my face. Fuck Apple.
Yeah, so I definitely want to address this because I was, you know, here in my house, we normally discuss things, between the three of us, me and my partners. We discuss things pretty amicably. We handle conflict resolution very well in my house. But there was one subject where there was a little bit more pushback than normal. When I made it clear that I didn't want any Amazon Alexa in my house, I didn't want any kind of, speakers that had microphones. I didn't want any of that in the house because once you give up your expectation of privacy in a private setting, you have no rights. As a human being, they're gone. And once you give them up, you'll never get them back. So when I set up my iPhone, or anytime I update my iPhone, every single time I update my phone, as if I didn't already say, no, I don't want Siri. It keeps asking me every fucking time. And I saw a news article about how Amazon was one of the first to be exposed, but then Google and Apple got exposed after, with they were only the microphone was only supposed to pick up, what is it, Alexa, or Hey Alexa or something, or Hey Siri, or whatever Google's assistant was, so it was only supposed to pick up on those things.
Yeah, but
And
But
they basically had a whole bunch of people sitting in a room teaching the system, and the people were losing their minds because they were saying, we heard sexual assaults over the microphones.
People being paid no money to listen to to exploit you, to exploit your privacy. They're being exploited. I mean, this is
but think about the psychological effect on those people. They heard sexual assaults. They heard domestic violence. They heard conversations that nobody would ever want to have, much less hear other people have. And imagine the psychological trauma to the people who are sitting there. But then, even worse, all the people that think that they're getting some sort of AI technology that is, just kind of sandboxed only, within their thing, and not going out to a server.
Yeah, but you saw what Thomas said. Thomas said, the tech touches people who don't even want nothing to do with it. Somehow the tech that makes it even creepier. Like, even if you have nothing to do, you want nothing to do with it, you're still.
I never use any of those assistants. I never use any of them. So never, not in my house.
So I wanted to share that story.
Oh, also one thing before you go there, there was one thing that you might have missed in what he said.
Yeah,
you're talking about the dictation.
Yeah.
So Siri, if you go do like your text messages.
So they were listening. Yeah, they were listening, and they were looking at all that shit.
Yeah, they were listening to, even when you're just saying something to put into the algorithm so that it can pick up your voice to send a text message to somebody.
Listening to it, thousands of hours.
Yeah. I never, ever, 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 ever use that shit. And I do not believe any of you should be using that shit either. If you're going to have modern technology, like when I get like a smart TV, I don't plug my Ethernet cable to the television. I don't hook it up to my Wi-Fi. I have my Apple TV box. I hook up the internet to that. And then I use an HDMI cable to send the sound and the video from the set-top box to the screen. I make all of my screens dumb machines. Why? Because, again, once you give up that freedom, you never get it back.
Yeah. So I really want to share about the Clickworkers, and that just shows you about this whole industry that's happening. It's like a privacy surveillance state enterprise. Like, they're making money, capitalism in a way. It's weird, creepy, and hopefully people keep an eye on it, keep an eye on the industry. Watch the Clickworkers documentary. It's really good. It goes from Madagascar to Ireland. It tells you how globetrotting this thing is. It's a crazy problem. So follow Black Problematic Hour on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and .tv Genius. He's live on Talking Shit on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And so that's a dash and bash in your life.
Yo, you don't even know what to call that shit. That shit is fucking, that segment is called Run for Your Lives.